This is Music Geek with Byron Cooke.
Let's play some songs off the record. Now, you know, for me, obviously you went out and did your solo stuff. And Spiderbait for me, you know, just as a mug listener, is now, oh, isn't it lovely to have Kram and Janet, you know, back together on the same record with that, again, that beautiful yin and yang that you guys bring.
It is a weird makeup. We do. I remember we had, we got signed to Interscope once in the States, and they sort of told us that we had to decide whether we were a rock metal band or a pop band, and we said, oh, we've been trying to work that out for years. I don't think we're going to do it. You know, they just couldn't understand where we were coming from. So I'm glad you like that.
Yeah, well, I love that kind of, you know, one's over here, and it all makes sense to me, at least. It might not make sense to Interscope, but it makes sense to me. But maybe it was the mood I was in when I heard an advanced copy of the record. You're going to find, and don't let this go to your head, that the 4 hooks that I've found from the new album all happen to be songs that you sung.
Oh, great.
So,
Thanks.
you know, apologies, Janet.
Well, what a minute. What? Yeah, it's gone to my head now.
And maybe it's because, obviously, you know, the songs that you front have more of that metal feel, and that might have just been how I felt yesterday when I was listening to them all. You know, Beautiful, the song that you put out with Janet, I love. It is beautiful. But here we go. Straight Through the Sun. Let's kick into it. Now, this, you know, rhythmically, I love the way this moves along. And there's you out the back in the engine room doing your thing. Yeah. And I know you're a student of metal. So the first thing I thought when I heard Straight Through the Sun, I can't help it, was the mighty Van Halen. It was just, it had that energy to it.
Totally.
This for
you do
kids.
A mashup of these songs, man.
Well, if I had the skills, I would do that.
This is so awesome.
Now, this drummer, Alex Van Halen, would be one of your heroes as a musician?
Well, is that Alex's whole... This song, Start of Panama, right? This is
Hot for Teacher.
Hot for Teacher.
Yeah.
It's a big inspiration for Straight Through the Sun, because I basically set up a giant drum kit in a garage and just started playing this sort of shit. Like, just went nuts, you know. And I hadn't played that sort of stuff for such a long time.
It's just fun, isn't it? It's fun. I think sometimes awesome. In rock we forget it should technically be fun if you can.
Kick ass and fun.
Yeah,
should be the name of the game.
And so let's talk about that actual drum kit, because when I think of an old school heavy metal drum kit, I think of lots of arguably unnecessary bits.
Yeah,
that's
what I did. I was like, I won't play that, but I'll make sure my girlfriend comes down and checks it out. Say, hey babe, check it out. You know, it's like, do you play that bit? Nah, but it looks good.
It looks good,
yeah.
I remember seeing a gig, a progressive rock band called Dream Theater, who you may be familiar with. I mean, they do very progressive rock, and they have this dude out the back that ended up playing with Avenged Sevenfold on the last record. An incredible drummer whose name escapes me, Mike Portnoy.
Okay.
And I saw them live. He had a drum kit that was so big, he had to sort of walk. He played standing up for most of the show and had to walk to different parts of the kit. Yeah. That's your goal.
Oh, that would be the ultimate, you know.
On a more contemporary level, because obviously we love the throwbacks, but rhythmically, and this is maybe not a band that you'd think about in the context of Spiderbait, but I remember, I think it's the opening track off the Tame Impala album, and obviously it's got more of a psychedelic feel to it eventually, but it's that same rhythmic idea. It's obviously nothing like Alex Van Halen, but the way it kind of bounces along, it has a similar feel. I mean,
well, Kevin is a great drummer, and we played with Tame last year at Splendor.
Oh, cool, yeah.
And we ended up, we had the same band room as them just a day later, and we were like having a chat. And they turned out they used to go and see us when they were like 13, when we used to play in WA.
It all makes sense.
And he
now.
told me a lot about recording, but we did talk about drums a lot. And his drumming is awesome. So I can see the reference absolutely. And I love that band heaps. So
that's
to be compared to them is really great.
Well, man, I'm sure they'd be stoked to be compared to you. And I guess that's when you put this record out now, it must be really nice to get back out there in all the venues across the country and I guess get that reaction, not just from fellow artists, but from fans who've missed you. It's nice. We all like to feel like we belong somewhere. It must be really cool to reconnect with those people.
Well, we've sort of played maybe 2 or 3 festivals a year in the last few years. And whenever we play, even if we haven't done anything for ages, we always get a massive reaction. And it's very much a communal spirit at our shows. And the bigger, the better, you know. So, yeah, we feel very connected. If it wasn't for our audience and for our, you know, fans that want to see us, I don't think we'd be a band, you know. As much as we love writing the music and playing it, that live element of the of the gig is such an important thing, you know.
Yeah, and now obviously with the updated live element of the 57-piece drum kit, which
exactly
I think is very exciting.
Yes, there's no room for anyone else.
No,
actually.
Janet, sorry, it's just we need that seventh symbol.
Yeah, Janet and Witt are in the crowd now. That's it. You know.